what's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? You see, I still got my Raw shirt on because I decided to do this video. I wasn't going to do the video at first, but I decided to do it anyway. But as the title said, this is about Will Smith's apology to Chris Rock. Now, to set this all up, if you've been under a rock or don't have a cell phone for some reason, don't know what's been going on, at this Sunday's Oscars, Chris Rock, who is the host, was presenting for Best Documentary. Now, Will Smith and Chris Rock and Jada Pinkett Smith have all been having this beef since 2016. I think I've been hearing or something like that, where they decided to boycott the Oscars, Will Smith and Jada, because of the Oscars not having any black nominees for 2 years in a row. So fast forward to this past Sunday, and all the stuff that Chris Rock, I guess, been joking and saying about them, which was all in good fun. They said to his credit, everything he said wasn't meant meticulously. It was just what a comedian does. So Chris Rock basically is presented for Best Documentary, and as he's supposed to do. And keep this in mind: this is a workplace. They are at work. Regardless if it's on a movie set or not, for them, this is work. For Chris Rock, this was work. So this is a workplace. He's presented the award. He does his little comedy stick as he's supposed to do. He then turns to Jada and says, "Jada, I love you. Can't wait to see you in G.I. Jane 2. Now, people laugh. It shows Will Smith. He's laughing. Then it shows Jada, who went, she rolled her eyes and stuff like that. But we never saw if she, made eye contact with Will Smith or not. And we just see Chris Rock, who says, "Oh, come on, that was a good one. That was a nice one." Okay. He says, "Okay, let's get back to it." He's getting ready to go on what he's supposed to say. And in the middle of him getting ready to get back to what he's supposed to say about the Best Documentary, he says, Richard, he called, Will Smith Richard. And Richard walked up, Chris Rock is laughing. He thinks this is going to, this is about to be, Chris Rock, but he blah, 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 this high. They thought he was about to make a joke and go back and sit down. No. Will Smith get up to Chris Rock, walking on smoothly, calmly, and then he said, right to Chris Rock's face. And Chris Rock, instead of he didn't stumble or nothing, to his credit, he didn't stumble. He just rolled with the smack and was just like, "Oh, man." And then Will Smith walked back to his seat. And Chris Rock's like, "Man, Will Smith just smacked it out of me." And then you hear Will Smith say, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth." And he said, "Wow, dude, yes. It was just a G.I. Jane joke. Keep my wife's name out your mouth." And that was the end of it. Because Chris Rock said, "I will." And then it was just like, wow, this was the greatest moment in history of television. And then he continues to go and he stumbles through some words, but then he eventually gets to the presentation for Best Documentary. So now that you got the picture, this is what has happened earlier today, which is Monday. For those, I know you said this on Tuesday, but it was on Monday when this happened. Chris Rock, they say he did. I saw the post on Facebook and read it. Read what it was about. They said that was Chris Rock's apology, but I couldn't find it for this video. But I was able to pull up for Will Smith. So we're gonna start with him. And then I'm going to give you my opinion on the matter. So, this was around, it said, according to this was around 4 p.m. or earlier. This was around 4 p.m. or earlier today. Will Smith released an official statement calling his behavior unacceptable, inexcusable, and publicly apologized to host Chris Rock. The full statement is below. Now, before I read this, he did issue an apology at the Academy in his acceptance speech. But he never addressed Chris Rock. He just says, he apologized to his fellow Academy nominees and the crowd and stuff, but he never actually said sorry to Chris Rock. He did say his actions, was inexcusable, all that type of stuff. He did say his actions was not appropriate, but here's what he says in his apology to Chris Rock. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. I think I said that right. Indicative. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. I had saw the post. I had saw the end of the post. I know the end of the post said sincerely, Will. So, and then I think this is just about the Academy saying they're gonna they condemn his actions. They're gonna take. That punishment will be coming his way. For his they're gonna go with the consequences in accordance with the bylaws, standards, and conduct of California laws. They say they don't condone violence. I think a lot, and then they just talk about him winning his first Academy Award. Blah blah blah. Okay, so that's Will Smith's apology. The one that Chris Rock said, basically, he apologized for saying that as a comedian, you have to learn what lines that you cross and lines you don't cross, and when you make jokes. And he said, I definitely crossed the line with the joke I made toward Jada Pinkett Smith and her condition. And this is a real post from Chris Rock. It implies that he knew about Jada Pinkett's condition. I want to say why I said that in a bit. But he said he apologized to both Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, and their family for his actions, and unfortunately he had to learn in front of the broadcast around the world live audience that he had crossed the line, and that he sincerely apologized, for what he did, and not get into like the whole Team Will and Team Chris and all that type of stuff. Who was right and who was wrong? Both men were wrong. Now I'm gonna tell you why I said this is why I think both men were wrong. Because this is after having some time to simmer over this and think about this. Yes, I'm not on Team Chris side or Team Will. I'm condemning both men because both men was wrong for what they did. For Chris Rock's part, I think he's wrong for how he handled the situation. And in a sense of this is from the standpoint of how it looked from the Academy. When you watch that video and his reaction after he got smacked, he reacted like he did not know about Jada's condition. Because when he mentioned it after the smack, he said it was just a G.I. Jane joke. Why would you not say I didn't mean to? I wasn't trying to make fun of her condition if you knew about her condition. He mentioned the joke, which everybody knows he didn't get smacked for the joke. He got smacked for, like what Will said, for making. He noticed that in Will's apology, he said her medical condition. He didn't say nothing about the G.I. Jane stuff. He said her medical condition. So that means he didn't care about G.I. Jane too. He cared about the fact that it was implying that he was making fun of her medical condition. But Chris Rock's response implied that he didn't know about her medical condition. So we're gonna go off that. If he didn't know, but supposing they supposed to be these close brother-like friends, but Chris Rock's reaction said, you can go back and watch it. His reaction said that he did not know. You would not say it was just a G.I. Jane joke if you did not know why you got smacked. Because you just let everybody know that you thought you got smacked for saying G.I. Jane 2. But no, everybody knows you got smacked for making fun of her. I forgot alopecia, I think is how you say it, which is an autoimmune condition that takes away your hair loss. You basically go bald from it, or to a fade, or completely bald. And Jada has struggled with it, said that she was sensitive about it. She made it publicly known that she used to be sensitive about it, but she now at a good place with it. But my thing for Chris Rock is this: if we going off of just how he reacted at the show, which means that he didn't know, then I fault you not for saying G.I. Jane 2. I fault you for making this joke blindly without doing research, without running it by them, that you was going to make this joke about her being bald, without thinking that that's all you was doing, just making a joke about her having a shaved head, not knowing that her head is like that because of this condition. So if Chris Rock truly didn't know, then my stance on Chris Rock being wrong is that he's wrong for not for the joke, but for not doing his research and to knowing, so that could inform him whether or not I should make this joke or not. That's why I say he's wrong for it. Now, if this apology is true that he made, when we talk about Chris Rock here, if it is true, then yes, then he's wrong for all of it. The joke, he's wrong for making that joke because he should have knew that was a sensitive thing. Then he should have knew never to make that joke. Yes, you did cross that line. That's if he knew. That's my stance on it. And the only reason I break it down like that because his apology to Will Smith and them making saying he knew, but his what we saw on the video is that he didn't know. His reaction, his thought, what he said, insinuated that he didn't know. But his apology letter said that he insinuated he didn't know. So my stance on if he did know is that he's just wrong for making a joke. But if he truly didn't know, then he's wrong for not being for doing this blindly without having the correct information. I thought I'm gonna just knock that out. Now, moving on to Will. Will is obviously wrong for walking up on stage and smacking a man. That's assault. And according to California law, which I read from their statements and stuff, they said that's what Will Smith did. Regardless if you think, oh, it was just a smack, it's still considered assault. They say it was called assault and battery, which is just a misdemeanor. And I'm not going to get into it with, there is a fine that you have to pay, and you could do 6 months in jail. Will Smith indeed was wrong for that. He assaulted him. And remember, this is what I'm coming back to. This was a workplace. This was a place of work. If I doing YouTube videos like this, and I'm doing this right now, and Will Smith walking in because he knows he got spies and see me doing this video, and he smacks me. I'm at work right now, making this video for you guys. That's assault. If I'm at the award show and I'm interviewing him saying and he smacked me, that's assault. Whatever way you slice it, it's assault. So that means he was, no matter what you say, no matter whose side you on, the man is wrong. He admitted it in his apology letter that he was wrong. So yes, Will is wrong because that's a blatant assault. Now, do I think Will should have stood up for his wife? Absolutely. If you feel like you have to stand up for your wife, stand up for your wife. But don't assault somebody to do it. You did not have to assault him. I don't care what people say. This is my opinion. You do not have to assault him to do it. You could have stood up and said, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth." And then if Chris Rock still would have said, "Wow, just G.I. Jane Joe," you could have said, like you did, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth," and then sat back down. Still would have got the same effect. Everybody would have went quiet because everybody would have been like, "Oh, this man, that's for real. He really is upset." It would have got the same result. Just without you just wouldn't have you just would have so that way you don't have to worry about somebody accusing you of assault and pressing charges on you. Because guess what? Even though Chris Rock said he wasn't going to press charges, that we do know is true. Chris Rock said he's not going to press charges. But under California laws, just because he said he's not going to, doesn't mean the case is gone. That just mean, okay, he said he's not going to, rip it up, nothing's going to happen. No. Under California laws, even though he said he's not going to press charges, they give him 2 years. 2 years to do so. So it's 2022. He got into 2024 to press charges on this man. So at any point, because of us laughing at Chris Rock stuff, he feel like that's too much. He could go press charges against Will, and according to California police, they saying he will win the case because that we laughing at him. That's defamation of his character, and then he can. That just when you want to sue for money, you want to sue for, and you want to get him, you want to press charges so he had to go to jail. That's assault. They said they even said they could have arrested him and they could have took him to jail or whatnot, but they chose not to. So yes, Will Smith is wrong for smacking him. He did not handle that well. You did not have to smack him. But you want to step. I'm all for standing up for your wife. If you wanted to do it, you should have just stood up, and yelled at him like you did. You didn't. You should not. Nobody should be assaulted. No, I don't care if I did not put my hands on you. You do not assault me for words, because guess what? It don't look good for you. I'm sorry. That's just how the world works. I don't care what you think. If I call you out your name, or I say something about your mom or your dad or your brother or sister, remember, those are just words. I have the freedom of speech to say that. That's what this country gives you. Now, yes, are there consequences with those? Yes, it is. But those consequences is just me getting hit or beat up. That's the worst consequence for me. For you, it's worse because I didn't put hands on you. You beat me up. So now it's worse for you. And that's what I'm trying to point out for people who think it's okay to smack people. It's not. Because the consequences are worse for Will than it is for him. Only thing that can happen to Chris Rock at this point is just people making fun of him being memes to come for the rest of his life. I already see that everybody hates Chris memes, and they already made a rap song about him getting hit and all that type of stuff. That's the worst it's gonna get for Chris Rock. It could get, but Will Smith, it could get worse legally. Because of the assault, things could happen. But I'm not gonna get all of that. I'm gonna let you guys go. But the last thing I'm gonna say about this is that the one thing I did out of all this, the one thing I cared about the most was was about the academy and the law. The law is the law for a reason, right? Good or bad, the law is the law. If the law says that nobody should not go and bodily harm, a smack is bodily harm. So if I go smack somebody and that person can call the police on me and I'm being in jail, that's the same thing that should happen to him, regardless if Chris Rock did want to press charges against him or not. So in this case, Will should have been removed, is where I'm getting at. Since it wasn't no charges going to be pressed, he wasn't going to jail. Fine. But for the academy, you should have instantly punished Will Smith. And yes, I'm saying this. because you still did something wrong, Will. So therefore, Will Smith, for those who are on his side, he still did something wrong. Therefore, he should not be allowed to stay at the show and accept his reward. Now, I didn't say he shouldn't have won his reward. I just say he shouldn't have been there as punishment to accept it. It should have been Jada, his sons, or Denzel, Tyler Perry. Somebody else should have done it other than Will to show that, hey, we don't. If you truly don't condemn, because you saying that you don't condemn violence, yet the man's got to stay there, is mind-boggling. That means you do condemn violence because you didn't let a kid come out to show immediately. You let him stay. You let him do his acceptance speech. You let him do all that. You're hungry for ratings. But let me know in the comments down below what you thought. If you enjoyed this video, then you hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reactions, season 2 reactions. And you enjoyed the video so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, do all those great things. Because it lets me know you want to see more videos like this. And I'm trying to find something real quick. I don't think they got it up here. I want to leave a lasting impression for y'all. I ain't gonna play it. I'm trying to get it perfectly for y'all. But that's how it looked. I'm sorry, Chris Rock. I had to get that in there. But yeah, it hit. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. There we go. Hitting you one of those videos for more of my amazing content. I'm out of here. I took up most of your time. Just wanted to do that to poke fun, but yeah. Stay tuned. I got more gameplay videos for you guys. Peace. Oh, wait a minute. What the heck?